I was getting ready to fight Drew Dober. I go in a freak accident during training. I tore my bicep in half. Doesn't look too bad. Drew Dober looks the same. He looked hesitant. It was shocking. I definitely thought Drew Dober would win that. So Silva, would sound like a good one. Paddy, of course, he broke top 15, so that would be a good one. Those are really the two main ones I'm looking at. That would have been my lineup. Drew Dober in the summer, and then finish off with Paddy at the end of the year. After my next fight, I'll be on a 5-fight win streak. That'll be one fight away from my contract end. That's a pivotal point.
Do you
I
think though
mean,
you can make it happen with the UFC, whatever it is
yeah,
that you want?
for sure, for
Yeah.
sure.
Okay.
I just need to be active, and they want to see me active. And I tried to display that this year that I want to be active. Is not my choice um to be sidelined like this. Like I said, I was one of these people that are dealt with the bad hand. I don't have good health, but I have talent. Oh my God, that's emotional. I have a lot of talent, man, and it sucks when I'm not able to display it. I'm only getting better. I know I had my injuries. I'm healing. I'm not done. I will come back November, December and show you why I need to be in the top 15.
All right. So today I'm joined by Mike Beast Boy Davis. Welcome back, man. How are you?
Good to be back. I'm doing well.
Awesome, man. Well,
Keeping in
thanks for
there.
coming on. You're coming off of a surgery right now. You just tore your bicep, right?
Yes.
How's that
Unfortunately.
going?
It was definitely a pivotal point in my life. Never really saw myself in a situation like that. I felt great. Even that day, I felt like top top notch. I was getting ready to fight Drew Dober. I go in a freak accident during training. I tore my bicep in half, doing a switch in wrestling. For those who know what wrestling is, I hit a switch. I went out too far. I didn't stay close to the body. Elongated my bicep while pulling and snapped my tendon in half. I had to get surgery. So I got surgery a month ago. I mean, doesn't look too bad. It's smaller. It's definitely smaller, but getting back there.
Yeah, yeah. Do you know Larry Wheels by chance? You ever look at his bodybuilding
I
or his
do. Yeah,
bicep?
Larry Wheels. I saw the bicep tear that he had.
Yeah. But he's still good. He's got like a crazy bicep now. So yours is looking
He
better
has
than that at least.
the little tiny ball.
Right.
Oh my God. I'm glad that it doesn't look that bad.
Okay.
No
Well,
offense, Larry Wheels.
I know, right? He's still doing all right, though. He's still bodybuilding and shit, competing. But as far as you go and stuff, was that like lingering by chance, or that just came out of nowhere just from
Out
that
of nowhere.
switch?
I was in mint condition.
Dang.
I just fought Nathan. The only thing that happened with Nathan fight is that when he tried to shake me off, I hit my labrum. So my AC joint was sore for like a month. After that, I had no issues, no tears, no nothing. I felt those are the best my prime. Like I felt great.
Right. And you were saying that stuff too. You're like, that's part of the big disappointment. You had just signed to fight Drew Dober,
Yeah.
which we'll also talk about. But just like as far as this recovery and stuff goes, you got the surgery. What's the timetable for your return looking like as far as like when you can be cleared?
So they said I'm healing rather quickly. They said I'm about 12 weeks in total for healing. I've been out for 4, so 8 more weeks, 2
So
more
you're
months.
4 weeks post op, got 8 more weeks.
Yeah. So we'll
Okay.
say end of October. So November, December, I'll probably be looking for something.
Got you.
If I'm not mistaken, they said December 14th is Tampa.
I think so. I know
Yeah,
that
yeah.
that Tampa card was coming, but they were slow on
They moved
releasing
that
that
other
date.
one.
They didn't
They
want to
moved
release the
that
date
other
on that
one.
one.
Yeah, December 14th would be great here in Tampa.
Okay. So is that what it's looking like? December 14th, Tampa card?
I would love that.
Okay, for sure.
If I could do something in November, not get hurt, and then do again December, that would make up for my miss. I'm trying to stay active. Unfortunately, I am one of the cursed children in the world, where I am blessed with all the talent, but the progression is
All right.
stagnant.
I know because a lot of fans were excited to get see you back in there, right? Because you signed quickly. That's finally what
Yeah.
we've all been asking for. But wait, real quick though, how many surgeries have you had, like as of late, like since I guess signing to the
Um,
UFC?
in 2020, so that was the year I got into the UFC. or 2019. I fought once in 2019. 2020 was COVID, so nothing was happening. I was trying to stay active. I was riding my bike outside every day, and I got hit by a car, and I think that is what played a part in all my surgeries. So since 2020, I've had my meniscus surgery, both shoulders, my hand, and my bicep.
Uh-huh. Plus, when you fought Slavi, you broke your orbital, right?
Yeah, but that I didn't need
No
any surgery.
surgery.
No,
Okay, got you, got
they
you.
healed. They healed pretty good.
Yeah.
I didn't have any damage.
But a lot of fans they're still kind of keeping you in mind. I saw some posts talking about you when Paddy Pimblett fought recently. Um, so that's obviously a fight you wanted, right? But even before we talk about Paddy, you saw Drew Dober fighting Jean Silva, right? Jean filled in for you.
Yeah, I watched the fight.
Drew
I
lost. You
streamed
said
it.
you
I
watched that
streamed it.
fight.
I
Yeah.
streamed it since I wasn't able to be there.
Okay. I didn't watch your stream, but what were some of your instant reaction to that fight?
Um, this the I was kind of shocked at how Silva came up a weight class. He just fought, so after a fight, that man went and celebrated. He put on some weight. He put on some cardio breaking. Probably had a drink or so, and then showed up short notice and won. Finished, not only won, finished by a cut. So I was surprised at that performance. That was shocking. I definitely thought Drew Dober would win that. I had him winning, not in the fight, but before the fight, prior, I picked him to win. I thought he would win.
I did
It
as
was
well.
I don't know. I can't really take away anything from the fight. Just Drew Dober looks the same. He looked hesitant. Uh, Silva. I didn't think was gonna win because he was so emotional. I don't
Uh-huh.
feel like emotional fighters win, but he proved
He's
me wrong.
always crazy emotional though.
Yeah,
That guy
he's
in particular.
not
With
not not
go ahead.
not something I see. When I see people emotional, they tend to make mistakes. And Drew Dober was just happy to be fighting in his hometown, smiling like he normally does. He's a vet though, 20 something fights in the UFC.
Right, and he's big and he cuts a lot of weight to make
Yeah.
155. And Gene was coming up. I was thinking the size was gonna be too much, but if I'm being honest, I don't. Maybe Gene just looked good in there, but I feel like Drew looks sharper than that sometimes. Do you think maybe like the fact of the opponent change had anything to do with it, or you got to give all credit to Gene?
Um, I mean, I'm not gonna toot my own horn, but Drew Dober was training to fight me, so he better be on point, peak. So I don't know. He seemed off a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, maybe he was training for some of your techniques or something. I don't know the difference in stances or whatnot, but I just felt like Drew didn't look himself in there. But all credit to Gene, right? He moved up a weight class and fought the bigger guy, so I won't take anything away from him.
No, of course.
Yeah. Do you because Gene's a featherweight, so I guess you might not be interested in fighting him, even though I saw today he's booked. He's got like a top 15 opponent. No word on who it is yet, if it's featherweight or
But
lightweight.
see, that's what I would be curious about because he could either go back to 45 where he is or was, and I don't know if they'll give him a top 15 there since he never fought one of the top 15 guys that there are entering there, but he did just beat like 18 for 15, so or 55. So I mean, giving him a top rank there would
Would
make
you be
sense.
interested in that if he ends up staying at lightweight?
Fine. I don't.
Yeah,
I never said no to a fight.
right. And then because also Drew Dober, he ended up losing, but if he won, that might have been when you wanted to still come
Oh
back and
yeah,
get. But he lost, so you kind of probably have to move on to
I
like
want
a
progression.
right, right.
That is true. So Silva, would sound like a good one. Um, Patty, of course, he broke top 15, so that would be a good one. Those are really the two main ones I'm looking at. There's been King Green talk, but I don't know. I don't know how that feels. How I feel about that one.
Fans have been tagging you or something, or what do you mean by the talk?
Yeah, tagging me. There's
Yeah,
also been like, matchmakers want that fight, and there's been like premonitions where Phil Rowe has had a dream of me beating up Bobby Green. So it's all in the universe.
got you. So Bobby Green's a potential opponent. He's a
It's
big
out there.
name. He's an
It's out
exciting
there.
fighter.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay, so you brought up Paddy, right? He obviously finished Bobby Green with that guillotine. A couple of my thoughts, and then I'd love to get your take on it. People are like, why did he shoot down on the shoot in with the takedown, it looked like, and Bobby even said it, it looked like he got his leg kicked out a little bit
He got
and fell
his
into it.
legs kicked out.
Right. But
So
also, I'll give Paddy credit real quick and say his jiu-jitsu looked elite on him. Even if it was a little mistake, he still snatched up that guillotine. So that's just my thoughts on it.
yeah,
But go.
that's just basic wrestling. I mean, that's the one thing you do when people shoot on you. If you've practiced guillotines, that's gonna be something you fall for when someone shoots a takedown on you, especially if they shoot head down or double leg. It's the very first thing you do, especially if you don't know how to wrestle. Which is now what I'm assuming Paddy doesn't know how to wrestle because he went straight to BJJ instead of defending the takedown. Uh, However, yes, good entry to the guillotine. I noticed that when Bobby got caught in the guillotine, he put his arms down to his side, which allowed one leg to go over top, which allowed that triangle to come in. So you got to keep your hands up, Bobby Green.
Got you. And earlier in that earlier in that fight, how did you feel about Paddy striking against Bobby? Because Bobby's obviously known for his hands, but Paddy seemed to be holding his own against him.
Good. I mean, Paddy's not a bad fighter. Paddy's really he's well rounded. He's shown that in the UFC on a six fight win streak. My God. Yeah, that's six. That was six. That's crazy. Uh yeah. I mean, he's shown that he wins fights, even though some of them are favored, but he does win fights and can't take that away from him. He looked good.
Right. And then if we're talking about you, because I'll be straight up, right? I messaged you and I said, you versus Paddy is the one I want because Paddy's getting some good names. He's got Tony Ferguson under his belt now. He's got Bobby Green. But obviously with rising contenders, right? I think the real fans know that age-wise and stuff like that and skill-wise, you're one of those rising contenders. And with Paddy, that's a big fight, in the future. Obviously, I think now that you're injured and stuff, you got to have like another fight or two to get there because he's obviously moving on to like Renato Moicano right now,
Yeah,
right?
he wants Moicano.
So, do you ever consider like a path to get to Paddy, or can you not like you got to say fuck him and like focus on yourself?
I don't care about Paddy. I just care about, maintaining my lifestyle.
Okay, yeah, I know that's part of your thing too, just the
uh
financials, right?
yeah, but I'm definitely here to win fights. I've had 32 fights in my life. I've lost two of them. I don't plan on losing anymore and I'm right there at the top. So if there was ever a time to say fuck it and go for it, it's right now.
Right. I guess my question though, it was like, do you think maybe one or two fights and you can get to Paddy, or I guess I
I
answer
think
my own
my next
question.
fight will be for into the top 15. I have that opportunity. I have that opportunity because Drew Dober was my entry to the top 15. There were talks. I beat him. I was ranked number 15. But then that would have been some not controversy, but conflict, about Paddy, because Paddy just won. Now he's 15. So who gets 15? I feel like we'd have to fight for that. So that would have been my lineup. Drew Dober in the summer and then finish off with Paddy at the end of the year.
It was looking like that, right? Because both you
Yeah.
guys getting those wins. I got a thought though, because I saw RDA's in the ranking still, and
But he's at 170. He's fighting 170. I don't know why he's still 55.
okay, so
He's
he's not in
fighting right
the
now. He's already signed at 170.
okay. So we're just gonna have to disregard RDA then.
I think so.
Okay,
So I feel like they should remove him if he's moving up.
got you,
Slide one more person up there.
got you. Now just to because I'm trying to think of matchups to squeeze you in and kind of keep you relevant to Paddy a little bit. So if
So
I'm doing that,
we have Jalen Turner who's moving to our gym. So I feel like
oh,
I wouldn't want to step on those stones right now until it's necessary, especially if he's going to be a partner, a teammate of
okay.
mine.
Actually, Jalen wasn't even one of the names that I had, so that works out. I was thinking Matt Frivola has been calling for that Paddy fight. I don't know if that's a name you'd be interested in, or you got Jared Gordon and Nasrat Hakprash just fought. Nasrat won. What do you think about either of those two opponents?
Nasrat is. It just depends. I want someone who's 18 or up, pretty much. So I don't. I want to be able to beat this person and then get into the top 15.
Okay, got you. How do you feel
I'll be
about a
the
Matt
first
Frivola fight?
person. One of the first. I mean, Matt broke it, but one of the first people in Orlando, Florida, that's made it to the top 15. I mean, we're already some of the bigger people that have made it to the top of the sport chain anyway, but to make it to the top 15 is beyond comprehension. Matt Frivola was there for like a little bit.
Yeah, he was there after he beat Drew, right? He got
Yeah,
that ranking.
he was there for a little bit.
Okay. Is that a fight you'd be interested in? Because you guys almost seem like you're on a collision course too.
They offered me him before, and I feel like I'm good friends with him as well. There was a point when, after the talks were, I talked to Sean Shelby about it, and then it came down to the point where it's like, this is the person we want you to fight. This is who we're offering you. So you can either accept it or you can wait until like November. And this was back in like May. So I was like, yeah, look, if he wants to accept the fight, I'll accept the fight. And they wouldn't accept it.
Okay. So it's a little tricky situation. We got to find you the right guy right now.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Or the UFC's got to find you the right
The
guy.
UFC does.
Yeah. Okay. And then just a hot topic right now going on in the lightweight division. Islam's got his hand injury, and you had Arman just call for the interim title fight. How do you feel about
Okay.
that?
Who is he gonna fight?
I don't. Charles Oliveira or something?
Arman and Charles Oliveira?
That's just my guess off the top of my head. I don't know who he said.
I feel like that's a good fight for Arman. Arman's got,
Oh, he already actually beat him, so we can't even use that
yeah.
guy. Yeah. So
So
I don't know.
yeah, I really don't know.
Okay.
I
I
don't know
thought.
the rankings. I don't pay attention to MMA.
All right. All right.
I've played 200 hours of Elden Ring in the last month.
All
So
right, well, I'll leave you alone on the division then. But I thought that was a hot topic because everybody right now is like, "No, that's crazy. Don't Armand does not like. There's no need for this. Let Islam heal, and then let's get them booked up together
well, who
instead
is
of
he
like
supposed to fight?
who
Arman
Islam. Armand's
and the
supposed to
rematch.
fight. Armand is supposed to fight Islam in the rematch next, but it's being delayed a few months, I think, because
I
Islam's got his
see.
hand.
Oh, if I was Arman, I'm waiting. I'm not fighting anybody until I get that title fight. I'm right there. If I'm right there, like they're already talking about me fighting for the title, I'm gonna sit down, and once you're ready to let me fight for that belt, I'll fight.
Yeah, I just think he wants to be champion already. He's tired of waiting. Like even if it's
It
interim, he's like,
wouldn't be
"Fuck it."
smart to risk it. You're already there. Now you're gonna go fight someone who can potentially be anyone can potentially be anyone.
Uh-huh.
So you're gonna go into a fight where you could potentially lose, and now you lost your spot. Someone else has
Right.
it. I would just wait.
Okay. I think that's what's going to end up happening at the end of the day. I think he's just maybe stirring up some controversy or something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
talk all day.
Perfect.
I
Right.
would just keep talking about Islam until Islam's like, "Yo, just fuck the hand. Let's go."
They're going to make it happen. They're going to make it happen. All right. And a few more for you. I know you really fuck with Max Holloway, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. And he
my
just
guy.
knocked out Gaethje for that BMF title. What'd you think about that?
Great. Good
Yeah.
performance. It was like a starlight performance. You know, you can't really ask for a better ending. Bell beater at the end of the fight, final round, five rounds.
Yeah. 5 rounds.
That's crazy. The way it ended changed MMA. Everyone's, taking over that point.
That shit's funny.
It is funny.
That's his trademark now. Um, so ahead of that fight, I was kind of thinking, I was like, I mean, I was telling some of the people I was interviewing, like Max, he's got some really good body work, right? And Gaethje, he kind of has those good leg kicks, and it was going to come down to like, who can really like defend the other person's specialty. And Max was doing good on checking those leg kicks, or he just didn't even get hurt. He's just like
I
made out
feel
of
like
steel.
Gaethje didn't really throw many leg kicks. I feel
You don't
like the
think he did?
fight not enough.
Okay. Because Max was even saying like he's like, oh, my legs don't even hurt, so maybe he didn't throw enough at him. But
Yeah.
I thought he was throwing some, but Max was also just slipping him pretty well, like getting right out of the way.
Max
But
is
what?
fast, so
Yeah,
that's what plays into his part. He's a lot faster than the other 55ers.
and he's like he's a big guy. I don't know where people keep talking about like the size difference and stuff. It's like, dude, he's a
He's
massive
big.
featherweight. Is the real
Yeah, he's
thing?
big.
Yeah. But where would you rank that KO of like one of the best of all time? Like, do you have
Oh,
any thoughts on that? Because I don't know of recent memory, it's like that in the Joaquin Buckley one, like in this last
okay.
like 5 or
Buckley
6 years.
these are the only ones that make you think about fight or knockouts. Um, I think the Buckley one is up there. Yair Rodriguez, the little
That's a
elbow,
great one. Yeah, that's
that's up
another one.
there. So that's two. The Max Holloway's three. Any more good ones?
This year they're praising Alex for his knockout of Jamal, but I don't know if that's best of all time.
No, not
No,
even a little bit.
but that's up
No, a
in the
normal
runnings for
basic
best of the
left
year.
hook
Yeah,
happens all the time. No, yeah, I mean, I feel like I got three,
those
and
are good.
that's not even from this year.
No,
They're not all from this year.
yeah, I think Max got it for sure this year, and it's one of the
Yeah,
best of all time.
because it's the only one I can remember from this year. So
Right, the ones that come right to your head are the ones that are it. So with Ilia Topuria though, right? He got that fight now. And I love Max Holloway, by the way. I gotta say, even I interviewed Yancy Medeiros, another Hawaiian. So I got love for the Hawaiians. My mom's from Hawaii, so I'm super excited for the Max Holloway Ilia Topuria fight.
me too.
Any thoughts on that?
The size could make a difference, and the fact that Max Holloway did agree that he got dropped that last fight, but
He admitted it.
apparently never did.
According to the stats.
Yeah, according to the stats, he never did. I don't think if Ilia drops Max Holloway, then he'll be the first to ever do it. Then Ilia is the best 45er. I think Max Holloway is the veteran, and he'll just show Ilia the speed difference. Ilia's slow. Ilia's slow, but he does have good grappling, and I've never seen Max Holloway grapple.
Right. Max is more of an anti-wrestler, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's definitely stay on the feet. He's a boxer. He's definitely 100 just boxing. Barely throws leg kicks, barely throws kicks at all. Just a boxer.
If I kind of break him down a little bit, though, Ilia's even more of a boxer, you know? But I guess Ilia's
Yes,
got some
but
grappling.
his grappling is really good. Ilia's
Yeah.
grappling is very good.
Okay. And I guess if you try to break down their skill sets from your professional perspective, where do you think, what are the X factors here? I guess because you fuck with Max, let's go on this way where it's like, what does Max need to do to get that title back?
Okay. So against Ilia, I would say you just gotta outbox him. That's it. The boxing's the only thing he's gonna play a part. Ilia just comes forward, tight defense, and boxes. If you can outbox Ilia, you'll win. Shooting on him doesn't make sense. He's a good wrestler. He's gonna defend your takedowns. He's defended like everybody's takedown so far. And then when it comes to grappling, like I said, his grappling is really good. So there's probably no point in trying that. I would mix it up for sure. Maybe like tag the legs, lead kicks. I don't know. I don't recall the stance, but if you can start timing front lead kicks so he can get his rhythm off, start hurting the lead leg, then I think that's going to be his way to victory.
Okay, so take out that front leg because he's got
Yeah,
that heavy
because
weight on the
he's
front
a
foot.
heavy boxer. Yeah, he's a
Yeah.
heavy boxer. My goal would be to damage that lead leg. So you have to either switch stance or you can't really put power into your punches anymore.
Okay. And Max has just fought Gaethje. He's been fighting Volkanovski. So if you ask me, Max has way better leg kicks than Ilia because he's been training it.
For
you
sure.
know, so I think that could be a big X factor: the boxing and the calf kicks or something like that.
That's it.
Right. How do you feel about his spinning kick? Because that one obviously landed on Gaethje, and that's a nice little distance
I feel like
kick.
he said he practiced it too.
Dude, I've been following Max for a long time. That was on his YouTube channel, like at least like 7 or 8 years ago. Like him teaching it in the garage because he hit it in one of his first few UFC fights. And even it's in the video game on the original UFC game, like UFC 2 and 3, he's always had that kick. Yeah, he's always had it.
I've never really seen him throw. I don't see this man throw kicks.
He stopped.
Yeah,
I think he stopped for a while.
It was good. It was good timing.
Yeah. Do you think that can play a factor in, I guess, like, stunning Ilia or something like that?
Oh, for sure. I would throw weird stuff that Ilia hasn't seen before. Absolutely. Because you're just going to straight up box with Ilia, you're probably not going to win. So, like when he fought Jai Herbert, the random head kick that came behind a punch is what knocked him down. That's the stuff you got to throw. Hidden techniques, switch kicks, stuff like that.
Okay. I think, if I'm not mistaken, right, Max dropped Volk with a head kick one time, right, in their second fight or something like that in Abu Dhabi.
I miss him.
I think he got it on the back of his head a little bit. So maybe Max has some head kicks he could pull out of his arsenal.
For sure, bro.
Yeah.
You got to throw him out there.
Okay, and then I had another question. Oh, here's what I was going to say. Because obviously when you talk about boxing, right, you're saying it's really going to come down to boxing. I think personally they got really good boxing. The Hawaiians got good boxing. Ilia's clearly proven himself he's got good boxing. I would say though, when it comes to boxing, sometimes the range is like the big deciding factor. And
Yeah,
obviously Max is taller and stuff, but
he's
Ilia
got
is really good. Do you think it's going
he's
to play
got
much of a
range.
difference?
It just depends on how good of a boxer Max Holloway is. Because you MMA and boxing are two different things, and you can tell, you can see it in every sport when MMA fighters try to do boxing, they always lose. Um, and we saw that recently. No, no harm, but to Mike Perry and Jake Paul. Jake Paul is strictly a boxer. He's been training boxing. He's been spending hundreds of thousands of dollars to become a better boxer. And Mike Perry's a fighter. He has done MMA. He does bare knuckle boxing right now, but bare knuckle boxing is not like strategic boxing. It's who can hit harder faster. So there's no gameplay. There's no methodical thinking to how you're going to beat your opponent. Boxing is all like range, jab, weaken the body, up top, hard hit here, weaken the body. And that's what happened in that fight. The body shots and the jabs really slowed Mike down. Um, and that's because Jake knows how to box. So if Max Holloway knows how to box in that fashion, he can definitely beat Ilia. Ilia looks like he has boxed before 100 fights at least. He's definitely boxed. But he's definitely a close range fighter. He's definitely someone who's going to push forward and get in your pocket. But if Max Holloway can pop the jab and move angles, yeah, he'll win.
Yeah.
Slow him
Okay.
down.
And I guess one other devil's advocate I have on this topic before we wrap it up is, and then I just got a couple more for you. So maybe like 10 more minutes and
No,
we'll
you're
be good.
good.
Okay.
I'm chilling.
With Max is, this is just a personal thought I have sometimes. Because if I'm thinking one of the best striking rule sets to transition to MMA, you got Pereira there right now. I'm thinking kickboxing, because kickboxing, when you train defense in kickboxing, you're also training for like head kicks to avoid those. But in boxing, those slips and stuff, that has no consideration for a head kick coming. And
True.
do you think, with that being said, like, could Ilia be a little too boxing heavy,
Yeah.
and like some of his head movements, could be susceptible to a head kick?
The only time I've seen him get dropped is by a head kick. So
Right.
I definitely see that.
I guess, yeah, history already
He's
proved that one, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
think I think a head kick. I think if Max Holloway wants to shock Ilia, throw head kicks and throw a bunch, like hide him behind punches, switch him, throw him in the random, throw him in the open. The spinning back kick. I mean, you know how to land it, throw it. Especially since Ilia's small, so you throw it at his body. If he ducks, it hits him in the face. I mean,
I love it, man. I'm so excited for this one. So I'll be watching closely. I actually even, the reason why I know that you fuck with Max and stuff is because I'll even be watching Max's streams, and then I'll see you hop in there, like DM him or something like that. It's like, oh, what up, Beast Boy? Like, what up, Mike? So I'm like, yeah, this guy still fucks with him. And you told me back in the day. So a couple more for you. I want to ask you though, because I'm not trying to be controversial, but I saw you also posted on your story about the trans boxer and stuff like that. And
yeah,
do you
okay.
want to talk about that at all? Like,
I don't care.
okay, what
People
do you
can hate
think?
me all they want.
Yeah, what do you think? Because I'll say this too. I watched a Joe Rogan clip, right? And he's kind of like somebody who tries to keep it down the middle, in my opinion. And I just watched, and dude, basically he's come to the conclusion like we still don't know anything. And so even with all
Pretty.
these opinions and stuff, I feel the same way. Like we don't know
I
anything.
feel like I've gotten a lot of information, but I
Uh,
feel like it doesn't matter. Um, what I was told and the research that I've done and what they have spoken out loud is that this well, I don't remember the name.
Imane, Khelif.
Imane.
Yeah.
All right. Apparently born XXY. So um male characteristics, even you can have male organs, male characteristics, male presence, male testosterone, but female body parts. So that, to my understanding, is hermaphrodite or, like intersex.
Or cisgender.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that I just feel like if you have characteristics of a man, you are a man.
Or at the very least
Yeah,
shouldn't be in competing with
or you
women.
should be competing against men.
Right.
I don't think you should compete against women if you are strong like a man. No offense to women, but if I came up and punched a woman, That's a problem. Like I'm a lot stronger than you. So it's I mean it shows she's lost 9 times to women. Sure, but men lose to women all the time. Women beat men. It's not, uncommon. It's still the other how many fights has she won against women? How many women has she made quit, cry, hitting them too hard?
Because she's losing at the top level, but she's
Oh
obviously
yeah.
crushing a lot of people's dreams coming up on the regional scene in Algeria. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
It's controversial out in the world. I think, a lot of people have said she was blessed to have this issue and be a female with male strength, and that plays into her and she's using it. It's a blessing to her. It could go either way. It's not my life, so I don't really care, but I don't know. I don't find it fair if I myself were born with something and I produce mega high testosterone and I'm 3 times stronger than a regular male, then they would never let me compete. They clearly would be like, Mike, you were obviously, like on test, or you permanently produce tests, so you have to, compete at regional level for your whole life.
right. And the fact that there's like all these red flags, I think it's, people are kind of being like, oh, she's not a man, you guys are wrong about that. But like you're saying, kind of regardless of that little intricacy, I don't really feel like she should be competing in the women's division. And here's one of my thoughts. It's like not something that people are writing about, but it's a little bit of like my speculation, because she's been competing for a long time, right? That's what people are saying. Like, she's been doing this. Like, what's the big deal? She was in the last Olympics. But people started complaining after the last Olympics in some of the tournaments that she was competing in. So maybe truthfully, like, this is something I'm thinking. Maybe she was born a woman, whatever the case may be, but maybe she's began like kind of like picking up extra testosterone, doing whatever she's doing. I can't say she's trying to be trans. I can't, but maybe something's changed. And even when you look at the results in this Olympics, she's killing it. And in the last Olympics, I think she lost in the first or the quarterfinals. So I think maybe there's something up, like she's changing something. Not to call her trans, but that's a speculation on my end.
Anyway.
Yeah. I just want to get that one off.
I
That's what
I
I've been
posted
thinking.
I posted that word post. The first one was just me sharing what I've seen. As Jake Paul, Logan Paul, everyone wrote, Joe Rogan, everyone's posted this, and they all come out and say sorry, she's actually a woman. When you see something posted by a very influential account, millions and millions of followers, people tend to believe it. They have no reason to put out false information. But they don't do research. Their job is to throw out what they see as fast as possible. That's their job. Um, so I saw it. I posted it. I put, men don't belong in women's sports. That's a fact. The amount of hate I got from that. So I posted another one. I was like, yeah, I did the research. I went through, I did a little research, All right, so she's a woman, but she has X chromosomes or Y chromosomes. So technically
Or
she's a man.
XXY. I've never heard
Yeah,
of
so
this shit,
technically she's a
but
man and
yeah.
yada yada, and people are like, you still don't understand. It's like, no, I do. She's a man. Bye.
Yeah. I feel like, dude, I swear to God, these are like some bot farms. Like, the crazy
For
comments,
sure.
they can't be real people. But I've been seeing a lot of this stuff too. But here's another part of this topic is, okay, so let's give her the benefit of the Imane Khelif, right? Also, an intricacy is that the IBA, right? They came back, they said, you're a man, essentially, with or you have XY chromosomes, you can appeal. She chose to appeal. And then when they wanted her to also compensate some of the court costs for documents and stuff like that, maybe it was financial, but she stopped the appeal. So at the end of the day, they closed the case what it was. So that's Imane. She tried to appeal, but she stopped appealing. The other woman, though, Lin Yu Ting, was given the same chance to appeal, and she never appealed. And then she's competing right now, and she's kind of skirting under the rug because everyone's grouping her in with Imane. So I think this Lin Yu Ting girl is actually more suspicious right now than Imane Khelif.
Huh.
Yeah.
I don't know. I definitely never looked that deep.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
that's beyond me.
Yeah.
I tend to stay in my lane, but I'm, watching the world unfold.
Mm-hmm. Because here's another thing I'm thinking, right? Because I'm just trying to be fair, and you do see like Izzy apologizing and stuff like that. And personally, I just feel like there's no apology deserved yet until we see some real documents, because it's
Yeah.
still both ways. But here's my other thought with Lin Yu Ting. I'm gonna forget it. I think I might have just forgot it. All right, I think we'll just move on from Lin Yu
No,
Ting
you're
then.
good. You're okay.
All right. Dang, will I remember? Let me see. Let me see if I got anything else written down, and then if not, I'll let you go. Let me see here. Okay, final one, because this also went viral on my channel recently, so I'd like to get your take on it. It's pretty mixed. Is Alex? Did you see the clip of Joaquin Buckley saying Alex Pereira is making MMA look retarded?
Yes. Yeah, I did.
Okay. What do you think? Because he's like, you can't come over from another sport and then become a champ, and in less than 10 fights is crazy. But a lot of
It was
people
like
are,
4 fights.
yeah, in
He
the
beat four
UFC.
people. He beat 4 people, and then he was fighting for a belt. And I was like, "What in the world? I beat 4 people. Where's my belt? Like, what is going on?"
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just going. Go ahead.
Is he making MMA look retarded or not? What's your take on it?
So he's a kickboxer coming over to MMA, and I guess in a way he's kind of right, but I don't see that because if I was strictly a boxer or kickboxer and I came to MMA and I was able to beat all of you, who is worse? Like I don't have any wrestling, I don't have any grappling, and I'm beating all of you. So you guys suck. So I think maybe he's exposing MMA for being crap. Learn how to fight. A lot of fighters. I'm not one of these people. A lot of fighters have bad fight IQs. That's why a lot of good fighters lose. There are fighters in my gym. There are fight that just don't perform how they train, and it's I don't know. It's something mental. Uh, if I personally were to fight Alex, I'm going to touch gloves or not. I don't know if you like to touch gloves, and if you don't like to touch gloves, then fuck you. I'm going to grab your legs and I'm going to put you on the floor. I'm not going to let go of your legs until you're on the floor. That is fight IQ. You can't grapple. You're a blue belt. I think he's a purple belt or brown belt now. I don't
He's
know
a
how he
black
got.
belt now.
I don't know how he got all these. I don't know
He's a
where
black
this all
belt.
came from. But you're going to the floor. I know I've been grappling for 12 years. I know that once we touch the floor, I'm going to put my arms around your neck and choke you out. I don't care how good you are at kickboxing. You can't grapple. But all of these people touch gloves and then try to strike with a man who's known for beating people by striking. Like, you're dumb. You are very dumb. So yeah, I think he's exposing MMA fighters for their lack of fight knowledge. Uh, when you like I explained before, boxers, kickboxers, these people study. These are methodical fighters. MMAs are brawlers. The street fight. It's like you touch gloves with someone out on the street and then you fight them with a few rules. Don't kick him in the nuts and don't fish hook his mouth. That's it. That's pretty much it. So people are not very smart. They just go and brawl.
Okay. Yeah, and I guess Buckley is actually saying to your point, he was like he finished that clip by being like, so I guess like some people aren't working as hard as they should be. Meaning, like you just said, it's more of a reflection of like MMA.
For
He's
sure.
kind of saying that a lot of fighters in the sport right now aren't really putting in that like world champion work.
No. They I feel like they're putting in what gets them by, for sure.
Why do you
But
think that is? If that's like a trend in the sport right now?
eh, that has to fall on your team. That has to fall on your coach, your team. The mindset around you is how your mindset's going to be going into the fight. And if you fight dumb, I mean that's a reflection of where you are. I feel like those people that are not fighting to their capability need to move.
The are gyms getting a little bit too? Some gyms maybe getting a little too glorified as far as being like UFC caliber.
100%. Absolutely. If you just because you have a bunch of UFC fighters and then you fail to maintain what got them there. Now you have so much money influence money, man. Money brought into someone's life will create a lazy routine. Conor McGregor is number one example. That man was on a mission,
I
double
miss him.
champ. He wanted to be a triple champ, got paid. Where has he been? nowhere. Like dancing with some short people in the club, shaved his head bald. Like, what are you doing?
Showed he was throwing a back arm.
What are you even doing? You
What
talk a
is he doing?
lot of
What is he
shit to
what is he
not be
doing
in that
though?
ring. He talks a lot of shit to not be in that octagon. So that's what I mean. And it's because he doesn't have to. It's like, I would talk all crap in the world. Then when you're like, then step in the ring. I don't need to. What?
Doesn't have he can
I don't
just
have to.
flash a little money and he'll be
Yeah,
good.
I don't have to.
Yeah. Okay. The last one I got for you, we talked about it last time, and I'm not even trying to draw a lot of attention to it, but at the same time, if it's something you want to speak on, then I got to let you do that too. You talked about your contract and stuff like that, and how you wanted, like, some things that you wanted and stuff. I don't remember off the top of my head exactly, but obviously you're like, oh, so I'll go be a millionaire in PFL and stuff. Now with your injury and
Money.
stuff like that, does this kind of change things as far as like how you're viewing your career path again and contractually and money wise and stuff?
No,
Okay.
financially, I'm pretty set. I really don't have to get up at all. I proudly made a brand for myself. I do a lot of brand videos. My Instagram makes a lot, probably like 150, somewhere around there. I've made with my Instagram. So I feel like my 2025 is going to be the year that I try to branch out and grow. So I don't need MMA, but I do want to be a name. So I'm right there. Like I said, I'm right at the borderline. Top 15 and up. I've made it this far. There's no point in me not, trying to add another belt to my wall. So
Right. And I mean, just because here's what I'm going to say too. With what happened with Makachev, right? He's a prospect, and the
true.
fact that
Yeah.
he's not going to end up staying in the UFC kind of sucks for the
It
fans.
was weird. He didn't even go to PFL. He went to Brave.
That's what it seems like, right?
Yeah.
Because PFL said they're not interested. They went on record.
Hmm.
Ray Sefo, he's like, nah, I heard he's a headache.
Okay.
But
Well,
and you're saying real quick though, you're saying like I want to have a name and stuff, and obviously Bellator and these other organizations, they've had a hard time building up fighters and stuff. So I'm curious, like, are you sold on wanting to stick it out with the UFC, like with the promotion and stuff, and just work with them all together, best for you and then best for them too, or like do some of your
yeah.
wants have to be made?
No, I don't really have wants. I need a platform. UFC gives that. I'm able to, you know, uh, showcase myself. It builds my brand every time I fight. That is, fantastic. After my next fight, I'll be on a 5 fight win streak, and that'll be one fight away from my contract end. That's a pivotal point. You can either meet at a middle ground to what I'm asking for, or I can fight out that last fight. I am one of the best fighters in the world. Uh, you can ask anybody; they'll say the same. Someone will want me, and someone will pay me. There's so many organizations out there.
Yeah, for lack of better term, like, are you able to, right? If you're able to, because some you might have too much self worth, is what I'm trying to say. Are you able to sell your soul if it's not right for you? Are you just not going to resign or something like that and fight out your contract?
Yeah,
Okay,
I have no problem
you got no
doing what's
problem.
best for me.
Okay. Do you
I
think though you
mean,
can make it happen with the UFC, whatever it is
yeah,
that you want?
for sure, for
Yeah.
sure.
Okay.
I just need to be active, and they want to see me active. And I tried to display that this year that I want to be active. Is not my choice um to be sidelined like this. It's unfortunately, I'm like I said, I was one of these people that are dealt with the bad hand. I don't have good health, but I have talent. Oh my God, that's emotional. I have a lot of talent, man, and it sucks when I'm not able to display it. Trying.
And that's why I'm asking you to and having you on. You know what I mean? Because I'm I'm excited about your career. You feel me? And like I told you, I think you're a big part of the future of the lightweight division. So
Yeah.
that's why I'm even pressing you. Like, can you kind of stay with the UFC? Don't like over negotiate and then end somewhere else because you got a lot of good matchups that I want to see. You
Yeah.
know, and
Yeah.
we haven't been able to get them yet. So that's why I'm kind of like telling you that personally.
Yeah. It's just more
Okay,
to come. There's
right.
definitely more to come. I'm only getting better. I know I had my injuries. I'm healing. I'm not done. I'm working still, training, drilling. I'm able to drill now. I'll probably start next week. I haven't started yet. I tried too soon. I almost retore my bicep. Scared me like crazy. So I took 1 month to just absolutely not move. Like I've been here again. I've been playing Elden Ring. I have 200 hours in the last month. So I've been playing a lot. Uh Once next week comes Monday, I'll start hunting for my black belt. I'm way overdue. So we'll get my black belt. I'll learn a lot more techniques, more skill sets to throw, and I will come back November, December and show you why I need to be in the top 15.
Okay. Perfect. I think we'll leave it right there then.
That's it.
All right, man. Appreciate it. And by the
Yeah.
way, I will you got me to always put you on my podcast and stuff like that and talk about your fights. So just know that, all right? Even if like
Yeah.
no if you don't got Ariel hitting you up or something like that, we'll be pushing you over here. Yeah.
Got it.
All right, man. I appreciate the
Always a
time
fun
as
one.
always.
Of course.
All right, bro.
Thank you. Thank you for having me
Good
on.
luck with recovery, and I'll talk to you later.
Thank you. I'll see you soon.
Later, man.